Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how to use list templates in reminders. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now, a new feature in macOS Ventura and also in iOS 16 and iPadOS 16 is that you can now create list templates in reminders, so you don't have to start each reminders list from scratch. Let's start with a simple example. Say you have a grocery shopping list like this. Now you could go grocery shopping. Maybe on your iPhone you're checking off the different items as you get them and then it removes them from the list. And the next time you want to go grocery shopping you could go and scroll to the top of this list, click Show, and then uncheck those items to add them back. Or you could simply select all of those and then go to Edit and mark as incomplete. But another way to do this now is to create a list template. So you start off with a regular list like this and then you go to File and then Save as Template. Now you're going to give it a name. It's going to start by default with the name you already have for the list, and in this case that works, so let's create it. It's going to take the icon and the color you're using for that template list as well. So if you wanted that to be something different, you may want to have gone to Show List Info first and change the icon and color there. Now let's say you go shopping and you complete all the items on this list like that. They're all done. You're finished with shopping. You can delete this list. And then next week rolls along and it's time to go shopping again. Now you can go to File and New List. And notice that you have the option here to create a new list, name it, give it a color, an icon, and all of that. But you could also go to Templates and then select that grocery shopping list and create list. You can also just double click on this. And it will take all the items that were stored in that template and create a new list from it. And it uses the title, the icon, everything. So in this example with grocery shopping, the idea would be to put all the items that you regularly pick up when shopping on this list. Then when you create a new list from this template, you can go in and edit it. So you can get rid of an item that you don't need and then maybe add a new item to the list. It's a lot better than starting off from scratch. Here's another example. Here's a list that you may start off with when you want to pack for a trip. And you've got your basic items here. You can create a template from this as well. And now you've got two templates. If you want to go and create a new list, you can select Templates and select from the list. But you could also go to View Templates. And then you see all your templates here. Now you could double click on any one of these to create a new list from the template. You could also select it and click Create List. And there's also a variety of options you can choose here. So you could show template info, and this is where you could change the template name, which will be used as the default when you create a new list from this template. You can change the color and you can change the icon if you want to something else. Like that. You could also go in and edit the template. And this will open up this list in its own window. And now you can go in here. You can't check off items because this isn't really an active list. You're just editing the template. But you can go in and you can change the name for each of these items. You can add new items to it. You also have buttons here at the bottom for deleting this template or creating a new list from it. You can also go here and delete the template or rename it right from this list. Now another thing you can do is you can share a template. So as soon as you hit share there, it's going to now be a shared list. You can decide to send an invite via email or messages, or you could just copy the link to send it to somebody else like that. They would get the template and be able to create their own list from this template, but not edit it. Once you have it shared, you can go back here, go to Manage a Link. You could send the link again, or you could stop sharing. Now each reminder in a list can have other properties such as a tag like that, or perhaps maybe a time like that. In that case, when you go to share the template, you're going to be asked whether or not to include these times and tags in the shared version. Now you would think that if you use a time here and you create a new list from a template that the time would adjust. So if this is today at 11, then if I were to use it 3 weeks from now, I would still get today at 11. But at least in my tests it actually uses the original date instead. So you have to adjust that. So using times with reminders doesn't really work very well with templates. So here's another example of how to use this. So let's say you have a list of tasks that you need to get through every day. So you can create a list like this. I'm going to go in and save this as a template. And then once I have it as a template, let's say I'm starting off fresh here and I want to new my templates, create a new one for today, and then I'll give it a date like that. Then I can go through and mark off the items as I've completed them. And then the next day I can create a new version of it and give it a new date like that. I could even go in and archive this by creating a new group and call it past days like that, and then close it there. So then all of my lists move into here once I've moved on to the next day. But if I wanted to go back and review the day and see what I didn't get done, I can. And notice that since I used a tag here for this one, it'll be the same tag for every list. So if I did a search here for all of those, I could see them. And you could see how I haven't completed these. If I go back here and say, okay, I did complete it on that day, and then I look at the tags, I could see only the days that I haven't completed it and show the days where I have. So that's just one example of how you can combine features in reminders to do different things. So of course these lists here could actually be things like training list of exercises, list of medications you need to take every day, that kind of thing. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.